Hey guys, don't mind me. I'm just setting the screen up here. Take me a second to get the grow up on screen so you guys can see how that's doing. Hey, 4-name lady. I see 3 of them. I see 3 of those 4 names. So that's where we're at right there. Luke Day, what's up, buddy? Yeah, everything's looking good. The back 3, 4, 5, and 6, they look amazing. I went in there last night just to turn the lights on. And I didn't throw any water down. There was a zucchini plant. I'm so upset. There was a zucchini plant that was next to one of my cannabis trees. And I went in to get it out and I broke it. I was like, oh, motherfucker. But I went ahead and I took the broken piece and I buried it. I'm hoping it's in a wet, soily area that it'll sprout roots and start going. So we'll see. I don't know. So I didn't feel too good about that. But I should have just left it, or I could have dug down deeper. I just didn't realize how deep that seed was in the soil, man. It was way down. And that's the thing I'm not realizing is we tilled that soil. So just because you have a sprout coming up doesn't mean it's right near the surface. If you till the soil and you flip it, then you can have seeds that are 2 feet down, man, and they'll come up through that dirt and it sprouts and you think you've got a little seed, and no. You don't know how deep that seed came from when you do that. Let me say good morning to all of you. Ty is here. We have got Debbie, Luke, Hippie Chick. Hey, Hippie Chick. Ty, J-Bone, Yo-Yo. What's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. For those of you who want to see the waterfall, I think I can do that too. We got that happening out there. I was waiting for you to smoke this morning. Oh, really? Well, okay, well then let's do it because somebody's already dropped a digit. So it looks like I'm smoking. And that person was Luke. Luke. Thank you, Luke. Oh, let me turn my phone off. I was watching Jimmy Dore last night. They were live. You guys missed a fucking amazing show, by the way. None of you guys will go. I don't know why you guys won't go in there. But, there was 12,000 people in there. There was 12,000 people in there. I was one of them. It was an amazing show, and near the end of the show, they start getting that noise interference, like what you hear on my show when my cell phone is near the microphone. And Steph was just being so obstinate. Like, she was acting like she didn't care. She knew that there was an audio issue, but she just refused to listen to it or address it or anything. And the whole audience fucking flipped out. And she lost 9/10 of her viewing audience. 8/10 of the viewing audience walked out because she refused to fix the sound. When my sound is screwed, I need to know because people don't want to listen to that. And I even left after a while. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, man, I can't listen to you like this anymore. 20 times in that chat, I put, Steph, move your cell phone in all caps. I wasn't going to super chat her. I wasn't going to spend money on it. I was just like, if she's going to ignore the chat, then that's on her. And she's going to have an hour's worth of video that's unusable. And that's what they did. They created an hour's worth of video yesterday that they can't take clips from because the sound was so bad. And I was thinking maybe it wasn't the cell phone, but maybe it was. It would have been interesting to find out. And I wonder if that's the kind of sound that you guys hear when I'm doing it. But you guys weren't there, so you guys don't know. But I wish you guys would follow Jimmy Dore and sign up for notifications and go there when he goes live, and then you'd find me in there. Finally bought into crypto. Yeah, man, it's a good time to buy in while the market's still low. Cardano's already taken off. Cardano's at $1.35, guys. Cardano was like 99 cents, and now it's at $1.35. You know, and I bought fucking Matic. I should have bought the fucking Cardano. You know? I would have been really happy today if I'd bought that Cardano instead of the Matic. I was looking at both of them. And I was like, well, Matic always does me good, so I'll just stick with Matic. Wake up this morning, Cardano's exploding. Okay, so, what else is going on? So that was the garden news. That was the news that was going on with Jimmy Dore. There was more to go with more to talk about with Jimmy Dore. Actually, what's going on with him and the Young Turks? I just love watching Jimmy Dore murder the Young Turks. He's murdering them. He is destroying everything that they ever built, and I love it. I couldn't be happier. You know, it's like when you have a favorite football team and you have a football team that you fucking hate the most, and your favorite football team beats the one that you hate the most. You know, and that brings you joy. This is what's going on with the Young Turks and Jimmy Dore. Is of all the people that I fucking hate the most on the internet, the Young Turks is probably in the top 5 probably. And Jimmy Dore is number 1 of the people that I love. So it's so fun to watch. And those of you guys that are paying attention to that, you know, like Steve Running, maybe, you know, I don't know if anybody else is really paying attention to what's going on with Jimmy Dore, but, you know, he's brought us so much good reporting and so much newsworthy, so many newsworthy segments that we've used on this show time and time again. I've begged you guys to go over there and support. You know, trendies are going to trendy, I guess, bro. And I can't get any Jimmy Dore's fans to come over here and support me here. So I just stopped promoting my show over there for the most part. Which is too bad. And when I see people on Twitter that are making sense, you know, I reach out to them. I'm like, I'm doing a show. You should come check out my show. And those people come in. They usually pop in, and they usually don't sign up for notifications, so they don't make it to another show. There are different animals out there on the internet, man. You know, we got the ones that are hardcore trendies. They sign up for notifications. They don't really participate in the conversation so much, but they're here to smoke. And then we've got the occasional person that pops in that impresses me with their ability to communicate and carry on a conversation with me. And then, you know, you see him one time, you know. It's like my father told me a long time ago. We used to have this guy's name was Bill. He used to come. He worked for my dad at his business, and he would come do work at the house and stuff. And the guy worked. He didn't ask for a lot of money, and he worked his ass off, and he knew how to do everything. He's like Mark. He could do anything. And my father always said about Bill, he's like, if you find yourself a Bill in life, he says, they don't stay around long. He said, but if you find someone like that, he said, keep them in your life. He's like, they are worth their weight in gold. And so I always really tip Mark really well, you know, because that having that kind of a person who can do things that you can't do, you know, technically, mechanically, physically, you know, doing carpentry, or just knows how to survive in the fucking outdoors, you know, with nothing but his fucking clothes on. It's a really, really valuable friend to have. Whether you agree or disagree on things, and that's an important point. You can learn so much from people that you don't like. You can, and I'm not saying I don't like Mark. You can learn so much from people that you disagree with, and him and I disagree on a lot of stuff. There's so much to be gained from relationships with people, and I know I am guilty of shunning people for disagreeing with me, of running people out of my life, and I'm here to tell you it was a mistake. I made a mistake, and I don't expect anybody to come running back to me. I've already burned all those bridges, But maybe you can learn from my mistake. I don't know. Or maybe you're already acting like an adult. But there's a lot of help out there from a lot of different people, and they might think differently than you. And if you can get past your mental barrier, you guys can enrich each other's lives. You know, you'd be surprised. What do you guys think about that? Have you ever disagreed with anybody in your lives, but they served a purpose and they taught you something very important that you'll use forever? You know, but you might not, you know, maybe they were, you know, they had a different view on politics or a different view on social, or, you know, they were, you know, they didn't like people based on things that you disagreed with, or they didn't share your hatred towards people. You know, and they always told you that, yeah, I don't necessarily like your attitude, but maybe it helps you grow and learn, right, hippie chick? Right on, Chris. You can disagree and still be friends, right, Debbie? I can relate. It's too bad I think I've taught a lot of my audience members that if you disagree with someone, to tell somebody to fuck off because they're wrong. And so when one of my audience members disagrees with me, they're like, well, fuck off, and then they leave. Take that advice into my own life and not just say it, but actually put it into practice. Right? It's easier to say it than do it. I'm living proof. Bees. Wants to get up on the couch. Watching him, man. That big head. He's so cute. Oh, love that dog. Words of wisdom. Well, I hope that maybe that's something that somebody can walk away with today, you know, and have something helpful. I'm drinking my coffee. I've shifted my fast 2 hours. So I stopped eating yesterday at 6. And that means I can start eating today at 10 a.m. So 3 hours now I can eat again, which is great. I've been noticing a very, very slight loss in weight, but right now I've kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock, so we'll see if it keeps going down. I'm at 182, 181. Kind of went up a little bit. I'm looking forward to seeing 179 when that happens. So we'll see. We'll see if it works. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. And I've been watching videos on YouTube that are really inspiring. I put them on Twitter, but you guys, most of you don't see my tweets. I'm not blaming you guys. But I've been putting up some videos of some workouts and some fasting stuff, and, you know, whatever. If you follow me on Twitter, you know, you go through my Twitter feed, you'll be able to find that stuff. And it's so nice outside. 61 degrees. Got the door open. Fly came in here. Little fucking fly. Get out of here, fly. These days. I'm looking fabulous. Thank you. Man, I watched a really good video this morning. I don't know who this guy was, but he was talking about Jimmy Dore and Jank, the Young Turks, and he was explaining how this whole thing has gone down with Jimmy and Jank. Harley, go eat your food. I swear, I wish I had a noisemaker. God, why don't I? Hey, get out of here. No, don't. Get. Chase him with an envelope. I'll chase you off with an envelope. Go eat your food, you little fuckstick. That's his name today. His name is Fuckstick. I feel like I want to have my light it up background support me. But anyway, this guy, it was on my Twitter feed. I don't know if I shared it. I think Jimmy may have retweeted it, so maybe I'll be able to find it. But I don't know who this guy is. But man, he went so in depth into, he's like a 15-minute video about what happened between Jank and Jimmy. And he really gets into it, man. And for those of you who don't know what's going on, months ago, Jimmy Dore started Sorry, I always got to respond to people right when I go on Twitter. So, Secular Talk Kyle tweeted out, so the McAfee thing is fucking weird. Kyle Kalinske. So the McAfee thing is fucking weird, huh? My response is, not if you're paying attention, Kyle. All of you should go on Twitter right now and retweet that at Secular Talk. I just tweeted. Now you guys go on there and retweet that at Kyle. And make comments about it on Kyle's thing. That's how it works. All right, so I went on Twitter because I was going to try to find this thing that I put up for you guys. If I put it up, I hope I put it up. This guy's video. No. I don't think I put it up. So, wow. Maybe it was Jimmy Dore's. Maybe I found that post from Jimmy Dore. Wait, I think I'm going to find it. I think it's going to be in my feed here. Yeah, because I saw this tweet last night or this morning. No shit. Oh, fuck. So much to do on Twitter, man. I'm sorry. I've got to do this. I'm going to scroll a little bit more. Hopefully I won't get distracted. right, so I guess I'll just go to Jimmy Dore's page. I think Jimmy retweeted it. God, I hope he did. This guy just fucking nails it. And I was so impressed, and I was like, who is this guy? Oh. I found it. I fucking found it. Wow. So, I'm so glad I found it. Let me retweet it while I got it right here. Let me retweet this. Quote tweet. Okay. Covering this live now. All right. Okay, so the tweet is covering this live now. That's the article. You guys can find it. Dan Cohen. Watch on YouTube. The guy's name is Dan Cohen. I'm so glad I found it. 14, what's going on? He had done Force the Vote. And Cenk and a bunch of people were against Force the Vote. What Force the Vote was we want Medicare for all in this country. Force the Vote would have made Nancy Pelosi put Medicare for all on the floor for a vote and would have showed all of us how the politicians vote on it. So we know who to support and who to kick the fuck out. Cenk was against that. The squad was against that. And a whole bunch of other people were against that. That's stupid. You know, you do that, that's what politicians are supposed to do. They're supposed to sacrifice their names or their political capital for their constituents. That's us, right? They're supposed to do that, and they don't. They want to hold on to all of their political capital and so that they can just enrich themselves. Now, pay attention to what this guy says. This guy nails it. And I'd never seen this guy before, which is why I was like, whoa, who's this dude? It's already got 20,000 views, too. All right, check it out.
Self-styled leaders of progressive media as imperialist hacks joined at the hip with the Democratic Party and NATO.
Exactly like what I just told you. I hope you guys listen to me when I talk to you. And then you'll realize that I do make sense. It's not just some old man on a mountain fucking screaming at you. I really do know what I'm talking about.
To the fire. But Dore's push apparently threatened the most prominent progressive in Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. After she rejected his tactic in a series of tweets, deferring to the House Speaker, she's referred to lovingly as
his tactic that he learned from her. Okay? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was the one who said, when I get in office, we're going to force the vote. I'm only going to be a one-term person. I'm only going to be a one-term politician because I'm going to push everything through and I'm going to get it all done. And she was a liar. She was a liar, to try not to curse. You guys know what I want to say. She was a liar.
Prominent podcasters sprang to her defense and then launched a wave of personalized, vicious, and ultimately revealing attacks on Dore.
Okay, are you guys paying attention? Can you guys hear this okay? Do you hear what the man just said? He said that Jimmy he was encouraging his Force the Vote, and then he got a bunch of pushback from a bunch of people on YouTube. People like Cenk and the Young Turks, and you're going to see other YouTubers like Sam Cedar and other people as well. Watch. In my home, your name is spoken with respect and honor, most honorable nay. Thank you, Sean. So is your name spoken here, Trendy Orca.
Rather than debate the merits of his proposal, figures like Nomiki Konst, Anna Kasparian, Ben Dixon, and
Nomiki Konst, and I want you to pay attention to a couple things here. Listen to what Nomiki does, what her hand in all of this is, and listen to her last name. What's her last name? Kuntz? What? Nomiki Kuntz? That's her name. Nomiki Kuntz. That's her fucking name. Listen. Nomiki Kuntz.
After she rejected his tactic in a series of tweets, deferring to the House Speaker, she's referred to lovingly as Mama Bear. A group of prominent podcasters sprang to her defense and then launched a wave of personalized, vicious, and ultimately revealing attacks on Dore. Rather than debate the merits of his proposal, Nomiki Konst, 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 Aryan, Ben Dixon, and Cenk Uyghur honed in on Dore's personality, doing all they could to deflect from the substance of the issue
I'm not
and
saying
insulating their hero, AOC. YouTube channel, longtime MSNBC contributor Sam Cedar became a theater for meltdown over Jimmy Dore's rogue campaign for an M4A floor vote. The past week alone, Cedar has done 2 lengthy segments devoted to smearing Jimmy Dore. During one 23-minute segment, podcaster and failed New York public advocate candidate Nomiki Konst launched a McCarthyite attack on Dore, accusing him of taking what she called Assad money.
Not bad.
This is a clickbait game. This is about fame. There are hosts on air who want to...
Now, I know this obnoxious fucking music in the background makes it really hard to pay attention to what is being said. And I hate these fucking podcasters who think that playing music over them talking is a good idea. So you're a fucking idiot, bro. But that being said, try to listen to what Nikki Konst is saying behind the music, okay? Listen to what is being said here. It's very important. Listen, okay? I want you to pay attention.
She called Assad money.
This is a clickbait game. This is about fame. There are hosts on air who want to make change. I think all of us are really concerned about educating our audience and bringing on informed people to help us understand everything, the issues and how to move through and push for these changes. And then there are hosts who want to be multimillionaires and famous. And, let's just make those lines very clear.
Yeah.
So for the...
Look, I don't know who the fuck this dumb bitch shit thinks she is, but everybody wants to be famous and be a millionaire. So don't fucking try to just put that on the people that you disagree with, you dumb cons.
Multimillionaires and famous. And, let's just make those lines very clear.
Yeah.
So for the, and not to mention, he has taken money admitted to taking money from pro-Assadist groups. So he's not the pure guy that he wants to pretend is the guy who took Assad money.
This was not just a neocon-style distraction, but a total lie. What Konst called Assad money had no action, but a total lie. Action, but a total lie. Action, but a total lie. Action, but a total lie.
So, Nikki Konst is a total liar. And that's what you guys have to know. Number 1. Let's keep going.
What Konst called Assad money had no relation to Assad. She was referring to a $2,500 donation from a U.S.-based anti-war nonprofit called the Association for Investment in Popular Action Committees. Does relief work in Cuba, Palestine, and Syria, targets Washington's ruthless hybrid warfare. This nonprofit has all...
Joe, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. If you don't like what I'm covering, go somewhere else. You're a douchebag, bro.
Also organized
You're a douchebag when you want to be.
Openly against the U.S. proxy war on...
Here, wait till I'm done coughing, because I want to address what Joe just said. Joe, I know that you're all wrapped up in your little fucking crypto world, and you want to make money and be rich, and that's all you want to talk about is your money. But see, there's other people in the world, bro. It's not just you. And there's people in the world that are suffering, Joe. There's people out there who need medical help. They need medicine. They need doctors. They need hospitals. They need medical care. All right? Do you understand that much, Joe? You might be in great physical shape. Good for you. You're not the only human being on the planet, bro. Call my fucking show a political shit show? You're a fucking piece of shit for even saying that. I talk about politics all the time, you dumb fuck. All right? So if you're going to come in here, you're going to throw punches, man, I'm going to fucking punch the fuck out of you. All right? So we're going to keep going here, but first, when you say that this stuff is irrelevant, how is our health care in this country irrelevant? How is my mom's health care or my sister's health care irrelevant? How is Jimmy Dore's health care irrelevant? How is yours and my health care irrelevant? How is anybody watching this show or hearing my voice now or in the future? How is their health care irrelevant. Your health care is always relevant. Always. Do you understand that part of it, Joe, before I move on? You understand that health care is relevant? Before I make my next point? Can we at least get that far? Because, hey man, if you're not healthy, if you're sick, or if you're dying, or if you're dead, you can't enjoy all the money you make in crypto, dude. Does that make sense to you, Joe? Answer me. I'm going to call you the same thing I call my fucking cat, fuck stick. Answer me, fuck stick. Thank you, Tabitha. I appreciate that. Especially when you use it for worthy causes, Trendy Orca. Crazy Karen dropped a 5. Thank you. You're hosting me on Twitch. Joe, what's your response? I ain't got all day to sit here and wait for you. Let's go back to this guy because this guy makes so much fucking sense. And I want you guys to pay very close attention to how these people literally attacked Jimmy Dore personally over this. It's all going to charity. I could care less. It's all going to charity. If you could, that doesn't even make sense. If it doesn't even make sense, Joe. You say you could care less, but then you say it's a complete contradiction in your statement. You say you could care less, but then you say you're sending it all to charity. What? But I thought you could care less, but you're sending it to charity. Oh, why would you send it to charity if you could care less, right? Those two statements do not make sense together. Those two statements don't make sense at all together. I could care less. It's all going to charity. What? That doesn't even make sense, Joe. You don't make sense. And I hope that when people watch the interaction between you and I on here, they look at you and they're like, dude, that dude doesn't even fucking make sense, man. I mean, how do you have a conversation with someone who doesn't make sense? I could care less. Oh, but here's all my money for you. It's all going to charity, but I could care less. What? What? Think about that, Joe. What?
Syria. The Assad money trope constiploid originated from a bogus investigation published by the notorious disinformation shop called Bellingcat. This outlet has been funded by the UK Foreign Office and the National Endowment for Democracy, a CIA cutout created under the Reagan administration. An ex-CIA agent gushed about Bellingcat's role as a clearinghouse for US and UK intelligence, declaring, "We love this. Instead of trying to have things cleared or worry about classification issues, you can just reference their work." In other words, Const smeared Jimmy.
Instead of having to go verify facts on our own, we'll just take your word for it and just pile on. That's exactly what they just said.
Dore with a phony talking point that originated from a de facto CIA cutout. Very progressive. Const also lashed out at journalist Max Blumenthal by falsely accusing him.
Do you guys want to go back and hear that part again? I think we should. Here, pay attention to this specific part. All right? We're going to go back almost a minute. Check this out and pay very close attention to what he's saying is going on here.
Does relief work in Cuba, Palestine, and Syria targets Washington's ruthless hybrid warfare. This nonprofit has also organized openly against the U.S. proxy war on Syria. The Assad money trope constiploid originated from a bogus investigation published by the notorious disinformation shop called Bellingcat. This outlet has been funded by the UK Foreign Office and the National Endowment for Democracy, a CIA cutout created under the Reagan administration. An ex-CIA agent gushed about Bellingcat's role as a clearinghouse for US and UK intelligence, declaring, "We love this. Instead of trying to have things cleared or worry about classification issues, you can just reference their work."
And these people smeared Jimmy Dore, and then they just repeat it, and they think that gives it credence. Yeah, healthcare healthcare is important. So let me make my next point. Thank you, Joe. I was waiting for you to respond. You said this is great content. I agree with him. I don't know what just happened. It's like, Joe, did your wife just beat you over the head with a baseball bat, push you to the side, and now she's typing for you? She's like, this is great content. I agree with him. Shut up, Joe. Jimmy Dore is fighting for health care for all. These people are smearing Jimmy Dore because Jimmy Dore is attacking our politicians, telling them to force the vote and to do their jobs. And these other people that claim they're on the left, people like Jank and shit, they don't want Jimmy to hassle the politicians. They think the politicians are doing just fine on their own. Hey man, it's 4:20 and I missed 7:10. Holy shit, let's do some smoking.
In other words, Kant smeared Jimmy Dore with a phony talking point that originated from a de facto CIA cutout. Very progressive. Kant also lashed out at journalist Max Blumenthal by falsely accusing him of going on a literal foreign interest-funded trip to Syria. So who is Nomiki Konst, and why does she sound like an intern for the Project for a New American Century? According to her own bio, she not only helps coach Hollywood celebrity wannabes on public speaking, she's been an active participant in NATO's criminal destruction of Libya. That's right, self-described leftist Nomiki Konst spent opposition in Libya after the NATO intervention that deposed most of the National Democratic Institute, one of the subsidiaries of the very same CIA militaristic former Secretary of State, who famously stated that she was perfectly fine with being responsible for killing 500,000 Iraqi children.
We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children than died in Hiroshima. And, you know, is the price worth it?
I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it.
When I called out Konst's U.S. government-sponsored regime change vacation on Twitter, she doubled down on her slander, demanding to know if I had also lined my pockets with Bashar bucks. Full disclosure, I have never received money from Bashar al-Assad, the Syrian government, or any of its functionaries. And I don't know how getting Syrian government money would even be possible.
How do I get Syrian money? I agree with this guy too. So Nikki, how do I get the money? Where do I sign up?
And the U.S. sanctions that make...
How do I get the Syrian money? Tell me how to get the Syrian money.
Make such an act a criminal offense. But I did receive the same award that Jimmy Dore and many other anti-war journalists have received from the non-profit group she referenced, and which, once again, is not part of the Syrian government in any way. And guess what? I'm proud to have earned an award approved by the family of Serena Shin.
These guys are getting awards for their reporting. And because of that, Nikki and Anna and Jank are jealous because they're not journalists. And, you know, with $20 million given to them to do whatever they want, you'd think they just do their thing and leave Jimmy alone? Jimmy said nothing about them when he was doing Force the Vote. They all attacked him. It was psychotic. You look like you're lagging. Yeah, my CPU looks like it might be doing some shit here. Here, I can turn off the cam. Hold on.
The brave American journalist who lost her life exposing the dirty war in Syria. Beyond her part in bringing slavery back to the African continent, Nomiki Konst was trained as a millennial thought leader by the Truman National Security Project, a Democratic Party-aligned pro-war think tank that helped groom noted revolutionary leaders like Pete Buttigieg and Michelle Flournoy. The Truman National Security Project was formed to create a new generation of hawkish Democrats rethinking security questions in a post-9/11 world. Nomiki seemed to fit perfectly with the brand. Here's millennial thought leader Nomiki Konst discussing her time in Libya in a 2013.
Joe, not everybody can afford health care. Is your head that far up your ass? That's why your head is bald. Because you keep shoving it up your ass all the time and you've rubbed your hair off of your head. Stop shoving your head up your ass, Joe. You're not the only human on the planet, Joe. What the fuck is wrong with you, Joe? Think, Joe. What is wrong with you? You don't even make sense. I really don't need insurance, says Joe, everybody. Joe doesn't need insurance, everybody. Joe doesn't need Medicare for all, everybody. I want everybody to know Joe Hinckley doesn't need Medicare for all. And neither does Cenk, and neither does Anna, and neither does Nikki Kontz. None of them. No, and neither does John Iadarola, and neither does Emma Vigeland, or neither do these other people that he's about to mention as well. No.
Interview.
When it comes to NATO, all I witnessed was really being incredibly grateful to NATO.
Crispy Chris says, healthcare in America sucks. My wife and I can't even get major surgery. We need paying for health insurance, dental deductibles takes any other money. So we suffer like others. Oh, no, Chris, it's okay. Joe doesn't give a fuck. Joe doesn't care about you, Chris. Fucking Joe doesn't care about you because Joe can afford to pay for Joe. Right? You see this, Joe? There's people in the world besides you. You dumbass. Man, I'd like to have Medicare for all personally myself, too. I'm sick of having to worry about what plan I'm going to be on and what my goddamn co-payment is and how much the deductible is and if my monthly payments are timely and all of that bullshit. You're an idiot, Joe.
Because it was so targeted. You know, you go by these buildings where tornadoes struck the building, and it exploded. It was amazing.
Even in 2015, long after the liberal hawks who pushed Obama to strike Libya had been wholly
Were you guys getting an echo on the sound? I'm sorry if there was. Let me know if there was an echo on the sound.
discredited, and the country was in perpetual chaos, Kant stood by her support for the attack, tweeting that the neocon senator Marco Rubio was right about Libya. At the same time, she was regularly appearing on Fox News to shill for Obama's wars in Syria and Iraq.
Okay, listen. He's got video of Nikki going on Fox News saying that the United States government is fine to be in other countries dropping bombs. Nikki, right? The one who's accusing Jimmy Dore of being some kind of a pro-war monster, which he's not. All right, I'm sorry. Nobody said there was an echo, but now I know.
No, Miki, did you hear anything new from the president today?
You know, what the president did today was he explained what he's accomplished, what the administration has done with the rest of the world, with the coalition of Arab states, the world's coalition, in attacking ISIS at its core in Iraq and in Syria. He's talking about cutting off the head of ISIS. You know, the time
Are they contained?
They're more contained than they've ever been. They're not spreading as of last week. When you look at military, when you look at the troops on the ground there, they're being attacked militarily. It is America's amping up of intelligence. It's America's amping up of national security and internet security.
Sure.
Like Nomiki Kant's Young Turks personality, Anna Kasparian took it upon herself to defend AOC against the powerful Beltway lobby of pothead comedian Jimmy Dore and his supporters. She accused him of never acting in good faith and tweeted that his...
And what's funny is both Jimmy and this guy are using the term pothead negatively. Jimmy does it in a self-depreciating way. He calls himself a pothead to put himself down. This guy's parroting that in the exact same way that Jimmy is. He's using it in the exact same way. I don't like the term. And I don't think either of them should be using the term. But at the same time, do you hear the negativity in it now? Do you hear it? The pothead comedian in his garage, the loser, shouldn't be able to accomplish anything. The pothead. Do you guys hear it?
supporters. She accused him of never acting in good faith and tweeted that his call to pressure Pelosi's personality, Anna Kasparian, took it upon herself to defend AOC against the powerful Beltway lobby of pothead comedian Jimmy Dore and his supporters. She accused him of never acting in good faith and tweeted that his call to pressure Pelosi...
You need to understand the context of the word pothead with this, and then you understand the use won't piss you off, because Jimmy Dore calls himself this on every show. He says, I'm just a pothead comedian broadcasting out of my garage on a webcam. He says that every show. So, he says that every show to put himself down. to make him sound less of what he is. He's using the term negatively. The way Nancy Grace uses it. Jimmy doesn't say, I'm a proud pothead. He makes himself sound like a fucking loser when he uses that term. And he uses that term because it sounds more loser-ish. Loser-esque.
It's a branding exercise.
Losery, if you will. I've just created 3 new words.
More than anything, even though she admitted that Jimmy's proposal is the right thing to do. For Kasparian, personal beef with Jimmy Dore outweighs the public's dire need for health care. I'd be remiss to overlook the influence of
Joe just said, we need our military in as many countries as possible. It gives our adversaries to think twice about attacking us and our allies. We need more money in our military budget, and it will create jobs. All a plus. I disagree with you, Joe. I completely 100% disagree with you. I say take all the money out of the military and get us health care for all. Fuck your goddamn foreign wars. You know, who the fuck are we to dictate what goes on in other countries? Nobody's attacking us. And let me tell you something. Why don't we have a military presence that's threatening and doing maneuvers and whatnot in the country that actually attacked us? Saudi Arabia. Isn't that kind of weird? No, we're giving them weapons so they can attack Syria. Funny, huh? Huh, it's funny. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny. You think it's funny, Joe? I don't know. But I totally disagree with you on that. I want you to know, if there was a higher percentage than 100%, that's how much I disagree with you on what you just said about we need more money for our military and we need more of a military presence around the world. Wow.
$20 million invested in the Young Turks from Jeffrey Katzenberg's media
It's almost as if you and I spoke yesterday on Twitter or something, and we had a little conversation, and I said, hey, man, come into my chat tomorrow and try to make some points to disagree with me 100% on to make me look good. And, then I'm paying you money or something for that. So, thanks, Joe. I guess.
It has its fingers in the private.
I'm getting that without even having to send you that message. Wasn't even my idea. I absolutely love Jimmy Dore. I watch him religiously like my dear friend Nate. Tabitha Hawks. Tabitha, where were you during his live yesterday? When I was in there saying, turn your cell phone off, Steph. Where were you during their live yesterday? That was a fucking amazing show. We are not the world's police force. As the son of multi-tour combat veteran, we don't have the right to tell every other nation what to do, then hold them at gunpoint for selfish goals, says Sean. My father agrees. Biden did increase the defense budget almost $1 billion, right? Biden's just a fucking piece of fucking shit.
Private healthcare industry. 2019, Katzenberg developed a smartphone app to help healthcare giants with mobile marketing. Like Nomiki Kant, Anna Kasparian brands herself as a progressive and even a socialist while participating directly in NATO propaganda operations. Last year, Kasparian beamed with pride as she interviewed Madeleine Albright.
All of you guys that are sharing this video, thank you so much.
NATO summit funded by Western governments, multinational corporations,
I want to say your names. Say your names.
At the same gathering of international militarists,
oh, I've already said all your names.
U.S. general
Karen,
Trump
Tabitha,
is not hard enough on Russia and
Sean,
suggested that he's controlled by Putin.
Steve Running, Tabitha.
There are too many coincidences when it comes to Donald Trump and Russia. And look, I'm not some Russia fearmonger, but Donald Trump and Russia. Coincidence. I think there are too many coincidence. I think there are too many coincidence. I think there are too many 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 I think there are too many
Yeah, I think there's too many cunts too. Mainly Nikki Kuntz and Anna Cross-Eyed fucking Kasparian, whatever the fuck your name is, you fucking dumb bitch.
Coincidences when it comes to Donald Trump and Russia. And look, I'm not some Russia fearmonger, but he questions the legitimacy of NATO. He questions whether or
Hey,
not
she
it was
said
really
it.
that big of a deal
She
for
said it.
Russia to annex Crimea. He was very reluctant to implement those sanctions. He is very complimentary to Vladimir Putin. I mean, it's just his actions really do speak volumes.
Kasparian also denigrated leftists who dared to question the avalanche of anti-China propaganda, demanding that they be honest and just accept State Department talking points lock, stock, and barrel.
But I also have an issue with some people on the left who aren't honest about the actual abuses that take place in China, right? And the abuses that take place in Hong Kong now, Taiwan. I think the Uyghur Muslims and how they're being sent to these camps.
No surprise, Kasparian had little interest in reporting on the persecution of Julian Assange. When his extradition trial kicked off, her viewers had to pressure her to even cover it at all.
Kimber Maddox says, free Assange, he's being tortured. You have more subscribers than any other progressive media outlet. Please cover his court hearings. I promise you we'll look into that.
The most consequential trial of the century isn't even on the radar of the corporate NATO propagandist Anna Kasparian. Perhaps the most unhinged Jimmy hater is Ben Dixon, the podcaster who speculated that Dore was actually an FBI operation to destroy the squad and prevent Medicare for all.
Fuck Jimmy Dore. This stuff is sociopathy. What he is doing is cashing in on your anger, but he's cashing in with a strategy that's going to leave you without Medicare for all. He is literally, at this point, COINTELPRO for me. He is a Fed at this point.
This is the same Ben Dixon who spent years smearing Julian Assange and providing left-wing cover as the actual Fed.
We need to incentive people to save money. We can afford a $200 cell phone bill, a $1,000 car payment. Dude, no, we can't afford a $1,000 car payment and a $200 cell phone bill. You don't understand. People can't afford that shit. Not to mention having a new phone on every release. No, people don't get a new phone on every release, bro. I don't. I still have the fucking S9, bro. I still use the fucking S9. People don't do that. You're lying to yourself, man. People who can't afford health insurance should carefully reconsider in auditing their lifestyle. Hey, Joe, there's people out there who can't work. Do you understand that? What are they supposed to do? What's someone supposed to do that can't work, Joe? What's someone supposed to do that's needs care all day in their home and they can't work? Where are they supposed to get this help from? How are they supposed to audit their lifestyle, Joe? What are they supposed to do? Steve's like, they're supposed to die. Right? That's what Joe will have them do. Joe will literally have these people just die. You know, Joe, no one in your family ever needed health care that and couldn't afford it? You have a $70 Android, and that's a lot for me, says Tabitha. Joe is just, he's in his own little bubble over there, man. Joe, you need to get out more, man. The way you have depicted yourself on here today as someone who is just completely out of touch with reality, man. And then it completely demonstrates to me why that your mentality exists. You know, mostly politicians that are supposed to be taking care of us won't pass Medicare for all. And why they think that? Because they don't think about the people that need that kind of help, like you won't. You're pissed at Joe? Oh, don't get Trendy Orca pissed at you, Joe. You don't want to be put on his menu. Joe, don't get put on Trendy Orca's menu, bro. Don't do it. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
Feds sought to lock the WikiLeaks co-founder up and throw away the key as punishment for revealing hideous U.S. war crimes.
Come on, fire.
Dixon had high praise for the feds and their meddling in Hong Kong, specifically CIA.
Even if the CIA is funding the protesters in Hong Kong, China is no more the socialist revolutionary vanguard that America is. So you might find ourselves in situations where the CIA, who does nothing but evil things around the world, yes, find themselves, for whatever reason, whatever their justification, find themselves on the right side of the argument. I'm not going to have a knee-jerk reaction and say just because the CIA, it's just like saying just because the America is involved in something, it's inherently evil. No.
Dixon was so incensed by the prospect of a floor vote on public health care that he demanded Jimmy Dore meet him on the playground at recess.
But Jimmy Dore, you know where to find me, dude. You know where to find me.
Cenk Uygur also trashed Jimmy Dore, his former colleague at the Young Turks. Maybe it was inevitable that Cenk would lash out at Jimmy. For the past 4 years, Cenk has shamelessly promoted...
That guy physically threatened Jimmy Dore?
...at recess.
But Jimmy Dore, you know where to find me, dude. You know where to find me.
Who is that guy?
I'm not going to have a knee-jerk reaction and say just because the CIA, it's just like saying just because the America is involved in something, it's inherently evil.
Who is this guy?
Dixon was so incensed by the prospect of a floor vote on public health care that he demanded Jimmy Dore meet him on the playground at recess.
But Jimmy Dore, you know where to find me, dude. You know where to find me.
Cenk Uygur also trashed Jimmy Dore, his former colleague at the Young Turks.
You know where to find me?
Maybe it was inevitable that Cenk...
I think he's talking about having a debate, not meeting him on the playground. Okay, I got it.
...would lash out at Jimmy. For the past 4 years, Cenk has shamelessly promoted Russiagate, claiming an undeniable Trump-Russia connection.
You don't want to threaten Jimmy Dore with violence. When Jimmy Dore goes live, there's 12,000 people watching him. That's just when he goes live, man. And he's a news guy. You know, you don't want to go physically threatening somebody like that. That's just stupid. Because at one point, that guy's going to be out in public and he's going to run in to some of those fans. You know? He's going to have a Jimmy Dore waiter or waitress serving him in a restaurant. You know, it's kind of like Fight Club, where in the Fight Club, he starts talking about who the people are that are in Fight Club. He says, we're everyone. You know, we're the people that deliver your newspaper and your milk and set it outside your door. You know, we're the guy installing the alarm system inside your home. You know, you don't know where the fuck you're going to run into a fucking Jimmy Dore fan at. And, you know, it's just like, you don't want to fucking threaten physical violence. And I don't think he's that fucking stupid to do that. And, this guy's kind of putting him, you know, he kind of threw him under the bus. I will say that. I think he just threw Ben Dixon under the bus a little bit. But Ben Dixon deserves it because Jimmy Dore does not deserve to be thrown under the bus for telling politicians to do their job to get Medicare for all. That's all. That's all that is. So you're going to attack Jimmy Dore personally, and you're going to start trying to find all of his little skeletons and to drag those out and to start dragging his name through the mud all over the internet when you're supposed to be helping do the exact same thing and you should be giving him your support. Doesn't matter who he is. He's trying to get Medicare for all. Why? Oh. Because you're really not for Medicare for all, are you? You're for Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton And that's what it really comes. And whatever they want, that's what you want. Right? That's what it comes down to. You're not real progressives. You're just bought off now and still, going under the disguise. You're wearing the progressive disguise.
Picking up Cold War hysteria.
So I think that there clearly is collusion based on the publicly available evidence. I think the Russians during the election, did they interfere, quote unquote interfere? Yes. Did they do the fake news? Yes. Did they buy those troll farms do tweets? Yes. But after the election, Putin pulls them aside and says, we did all that money laundering together. We just turned that in, and you're in a world of trouble. You're going to go to prison. So here's what you're going to do for us. And then Trump proceeds to do just that.
Back in 2011, the future founder of the Justice Democrats was orgasming over the destruction of Libya.
Down goes Gaddafi. It appears down goes Gaddafi. Down goes Gaddafi. It appears down goes Gaddafi.
And when Neera Tanden, who proposed stealing Libya's oil to balance the budget, was recently selected as Biden's Office of Management and Budget Director, Uyghur tweeted that he's rooting for her. And then there's the time that he declared his support for our guys in the CIA. It's no coincidence that the pundits who are circling the wagons around AOC and seething at a comedian for pushing for a Medicare for All floor vote are also a bunch of pseudo-left imperialists. They've positioned themselves as guard dogs and gatekeepers of the Democratic Party, a pro-war, pro-Wall Street political cartel that fights the authentic anti-imperialist left harder than it takes on right-wing Republicans. If there's any positive to take away, now we know who's part of the struggle to improve the lives of working people in this country and end wars abroad, and who's standing in the way.
There it is. Now we know who. Look. Pay close attention to Jimmy Dore. He wants to end the wars. He wants Medicare for all. He wants universal basic income. He wants to end student loan debt. He wants all of the things that the majority of people in the United States want. And what a lot of people around the world already have. And that look at the United States and say, man, you guys are just, for sacrificing your freedom, you guys don't get much in return. I just think Joe didn't get coddled enough by his mommy, so now he's doing and saying whatever to get attention. Joe's just talking massive shit today. He's making me laugh, actually. It's funny. Everything that Joe has said is funny, but it's sad because I'm pretty sure he means it all. And that gives you, right there, it gives you a good idea. I think I said this before, but I'll say it again, of the sentiment that drives people who are anti-progressive. It's not just Joe. He's in here representing an entire, you've got libertarians, you've got Republicans, you've got hardcore Democrats like the people that you just saw, that he just exposed on there, like Jank and Anna and all of them. And that Nikki Const, all of them. They're Democrats. That sentiment is it's at a level of ignorance that can only be bought off. It can only be bought. You're only going to ignore people suffering for your own financial gain. And that is what people do. That's what Joe is doing right now. That's what Jenk and Anna are doing. That's what Nikki Const is doing. Cheers, guys. Joe, all the other developed countries already have Medicare for all. It's no big deal. You know, you want to spend money on war, and we don't. You know, all you do is you make me look good, bro. Every time you open up your mouth in here, my response is you know, what most people are going to agree with, and what you're saying no one agrees with. You're pro-war. You're pro-intervention. Most people now aren't that way, you know? And you would rather take money that could go to healthcare and help people and spend it on war and killing people in other countries than giving people healthcare. And you think it's so expensive, and it's not. The whole system is actually cheaper. It costs less if we go to Medicare for all. It costs less. It saves us money. People are healthier. I don't expect you to understand that, but when people are healthier, it's a less of a tax on the medical system, and it overall costs less than the system as it is right now. I hope so. I mean, I'm just repeating what Jimmy Dore says. I'm just a Jimmy Dore parrot. You know, if I'm agreeing with him, I'm gonna let everybody know. God, that video is from December, guys. That video is from fucking December. Wow. Behind the headlines. Chris. Yeah, Chris. You're just greedy, Joe. We all know that about you. We remember I banned you from the live stream for being greedy, for displaying just a rabid amount of selfish greed and pride in your greed. That's nothing to be proud of, Joe. And what you're saying right here, man, what you're saying right here, God, man. I don't know. It makes me... I tell you what, Joe, I'm going to go ahead and block you from my live stream. Not because I disagree with you. I disagree with everything that you've said. But because you're just a mean, rude person. The things that you're saying on my live stream are blatantly antisocial. And I'm in here to be social. I'm in here to be happy and have fun. So I'm going to go ahead and block you. You're blocked. I'm not here to have this conversation with you, man. I'm not here to debate what's blatantly, obviously popular due to humanity and love of your fellow human being. It's just silly. So I gave you a silly block. You got blocked for being silly. Hey, Nick. Nick says, bye, Joe. So I saw an old story from about 8 years ago where this guy that was a Nazi here in the United States, he had, lost his job and just turned towards Nazism and became like a leader of Nazi groups in his state and in neighboring states, and was well known and was up and coming in the Nazi regime here in the United States, and his 10-year-old son murdered him while he was sleeping on the couch. 10 years old. You guys ever hear about that? Shot him in the ear. Said he had to use 4 fingers to cock the gun, and he had to use two fingers to pull the trigger. They said he's going to be in prison until he's 25 years old, in juvenile detention until he's 25 years old, I think. I'm like, why? He was fucking 10 years old. His father was abusing him. His father was a Nazi and that was abusing him. He's got to be in prison until he's 25 years old? No. That's fucked up. He was 10 years old. How's a little kid supposed to deal with abuse when the mother sits there and lets it happen? You know? And what's a little 10-year-old supposed to do? How does he make it stop? Hey, Treasure Coast Waters, what's up, Stukes? I'll try to remember that. TC Dub. Treasure Coast Waters. Abuse straight self-defense. This kid's supposed to stay in juvenile detention until he's 25 years old? You know, I could understand him being in juvenile detention for like 3 years. He's 10 years old. They said that he had a history of violence, that he had taken a phone cord and tried to choke one of his teachers. His father was abusing him. You know, he was being tortured at home. He was a baby. He was freaking a baby, and his father was a Nazi, was beating him up. Of course he tried to choke one of his teachers with a phone cord, man. He was fucking screaming for help, man. Oh, he's a problem child. This child is a problem. He's trying to murder the other kids. Yeah, I wonder where he's learning that. Do you know the grandmother is like, yeah, I went and visited the home. Oh, he's such a great father. What a great father. This was an amazing show to watch. It was on YouTube, man. I was like, fucking A, dude. You guys want a link to the article? I bet you do, you crazy kids. Let me see what I got here. From CBS News. It's called The Murder of an American Nazi. I didn't even watch it to the end.
In a situation, or believed he was in a situation.
Dude. Here, I'll just show you. Let me show you a screenshot. I could show you this whole video. We could watch the whole video. You guys want to watch it? It's only 13 minutes long, man. I bet we can watch this whole video on here. It's a 60 minutes thing, and I don't think 60 Minutes minds if you use their stuff on the internet. You guys want to watch it? All right, we'll watch it in fast motion. How's that? And I'll flip it over backwards. So now it says OA. OA. Open access. Brought to you by Nays Garden. OA. OA. Open access. Brought to you by Nays Garden. OA.
Earlier this year, the leader of a neo-Nazi group was murdered in Riverside, California. His name was Jeff Hall. He was a burly man, 6'3", a devoted father of 5 young children, and a plumber who had been unemployed for 3 years. Jeff Hall was shot at near zero range in his own living room. What was astonishing was who shot him.
Right, Doc? Right? He's 10 years old.
The story will continue in a moment.
10 years old, man.
We've been through a lot together, so
He's a baby.
This is 32-year-old Jeff Hall. These pictures were taken just hours before he was executed right in this room. The executioner, this child, his son, his 10-year-old son. But if you find this image disturbing, consider this one taken 2 weeks earlier. A neo-Nazi rally on the streets of Trenton, New Jersey. Jeff Hall was a rising star in the largest neo-Nazi group in the country, the National Socialist Movement, or NSM.
We've got sunlight.
The numbers nationwide are still small.
Sunlight for smoke rings.
Tops, but they're growing.
This isn't dressing. This isn't
Cheers.
We're fighting for our children's future.
According to Jeff Hall and the NSM,
Thank you,
that
Tabitha.
future would be an all-white, non-Semitic America.
There's other groups I could join. There's tons of them.
Jeff Hall joined only 3 years ago. But seen as personable and charismatic, he quickly became the leader of the NSM in California, Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. This footage was shot by Julie Plattner, a filmmaker and photographer who was able to gain the NSM's trust
How you doing, Miss Julie?
and enter their closed world of private meetings.
Julie has me like.
Remember, guys, to save time, you can always watch my shows in fast motion on YouTube.
She quickly honed in on Jeff Hall.
Jeff, nice to meet you.
Jeff Hall cultivated a sense of family among his new recruits, holding his monthly meetings at his house with the kids around, including his son Joseph. These gatherings were a strange mix of Nazi propaganda and party games.
I got all the right answers, guys.
A birthday celebration topped off by... Jeff's mother, Joanne Patterson, went to some of her son's meetings, despite abhorring her son's politics.
I wanted to make sure it was okay for my grandkids to be there. I had a great time.
This is the crazy. This is the crazy. I had a great time. It was a regular barbecue. There's videos of it. They're all wearing fucking Nazi swastikas. They're doing the whole Nazi salute. They're doing all of that, and she's going in her mind, oh, it was a great place for children.
It looked like any barbecue in any backyard in America. But they were Nazis. Wait,
we're just sitting here talking about Nazis.
I know, it's crazy.
They're in your own family.
I know, it's crazy, huh?
Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah, a Nazi leader.
You're fucking
On Saturday,
crazy.
April 30th, her son Jeff held what would be his last...
You're crazy. You raised a son who thinks it's great to be a Nazi. Living in America, that it's just great idea to be a Nazi. I mean, wow, man. Wants to purify the white race.
...to get together. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary.
Sunlight, smoke rings.
This is ordinary.
Smoke rings.
2-year-old Joseph was running in and out of the house.
Show me outside, man.
All the kids were. Dad even took some of them to see his Nazi glow-in-the-dark T-shirt with its SS insignia. This is the last recorded image of Jeff Hall alive. After people left that night, the family watched a movie, Yogi Bear, as Jeff slept on the couch. The others went upstairs.
We'll go normal speed here.
To bed. Then, at 4:02 a.m.,
911 emergency. My son shot my husband. I need an ambulance. He's bleeding. How old is your son? 10. How old is your son? 10. Oh my God.
you were the first detective at the scene after the murder. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Detective Greg Rowe saw Jeff Hall dead on the couch. He says little Joseph, who was found hiding upstairs under his covers, described calmly how he had gotten the family's Rossi .357 Magnum from his dad's closet.
Went downstairs.
It's a big gun. I used to have a .357 Magnum.
He described how he used his 4 fingers to cock the gun and used 2 fingers to pull the trigger, and he pointed at his ear.
This was not a case of a kid thinking it was a toy and letting it go off by accident.
There's no evidence that this was anything but intentional.
Prosecutor Michael Socchio.
When he was taken into juvenile hall, he was so little they didn't have shoes to fit him, so they had to go out and buy him a little pair of tennis shoes. He asked if he'd be able to keep the shoes when he left, which showed an absolute lack of understanding of what was going to be happening.
The Department of Justice reports only 9 cases of a 10-year-old killing a parent since 1980. But then, how many American kids are raised by a Nazi? When you heard that the victim was the head of the local Nazi organization, did you just think to yourself that that had something to do with it?
When I first heard it, I thought there's got to be some connection with Nazi views, with guns, with weapons, with violence.
Hate speech.
Hate speech.
Hey, absolutely. The kid was in the meetings. He was right there. They were talking about hate. They were talking about violently removing people from the country. They were talking about purifying the white race. This kid was exposed to unbelievable amounts of hatred, racism, poison. You talk about indoctrination, man. This kid was raised to think that violence was the answer to everything.
Yeah, sure. That was just about everyone's assumption. So we set out to discover why Jeff Hall became a Nazi 3 years ago.
I think the biggest factor that contributed was the economy. When the housing market just fell apart in California, he had no work. He hadn't worked for 3 years.
He was in construction.
He was in construction.
And that side of the economy just completely dried up.
Completely dried up. And he tried and tried and tried to get work, and it's just scary. Poverty is a really scary thing.
Jeff lived in the Inland Empire, a vast stretch of California desert east of L.A. It was among the worst hit when the real estate market crashed, ranking 5th in foreclosures nationwide. Entire communities became ghost towns. Unemployment reached 15%. Jeff was poor and angry with time on his hands when he came upon Jeff Scoop, commander of the National Socialist Movement.
You know, illegal aliens coming over the border, streaming over in hordes, taking American jobs.
Neo-Nazis focused their tirades lately on immigrants and the so-called browning of America.
Smoke rings for everyone!
No longer have a
Beautiful lit up smoke rings right here!
Basically,
For you!
What Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton do for the black people is what we do for white people.
Well, not exactly. I read to Commander Jeff Scoop this from the NSM's website. All non-whites should leave this nation, peacefully or by force.
Our ideal America would be an America that's all white. That doesn't mean
everybody else has to leave, peacefully or by force. Wow.
Our goal is a white homeland.
I mean, the president's not white. Our attorney general's not white. So they should leave. What about Jews?
They're also a race of people.
So they should leave.
Correct.
He knows that won't happen anytime soon, but he's preparing. 10 white supremacists of various groups were on the ballot in 2010, including 3 for Congress. One candidate seeking a local office was Jeff Hall.
Jeff Hall ran for elections in California and took in almost 30% of the vote as an open national socialist. It was a good run. It was a great run.
Beside that unsuccessful run for local water board, Jeff organized patrols at the Mexican border just a short drive from his home. They would show up fully armed with night vision equipment and round up migrants as they crossed into the U.S. 2 weeks before his death, Jeff bragged about taking his young son with him on patrol.
My son was able to operate a Gen 1 night vision and the infrared scope. At the age of 9, my son's out at the port.
So was being exposed to all that hate and talk of violence the reason Joseph murdered his dad?
You guys get your gloves cocked and ready to rock and roll the board. That's how we do it.
The more we looked, the more we realized it wasn't that cut and dry.
There might have been some things that we didn't know about Jeff that we wouldn't have liked.
Megan Hall, Jeff's sister, says she hated her brother's politics, but had always seen him as a model father.
He was an amazing father and would do anything for his kids.
Really? The guy that abused his kids was an amazing father? I mean, where do you get off? What's up, Dolch? Sounds like Washington.
And, you know, my nephew would just look at him like he was his hero.
But in the last couple of years, the hero changed, darkened. Whether it was the power of being a Nazi leader or the powerlessness of being unemployed, he drank more, she says, and was prone to striking out at his son and his wife, Krista.
My brother had shown a different side to him. Not all of the time. It was on random occasions, not predictable.
He was beating up both Joe and Krista, is what we heard. Is that what you've been told?
Yeah.
Young Joseph told police that he decided to kill his dad to, quote, end the son versus father thing. Did he describe what the abuse entailed?
He described his father hitting him, kicking him, pushing him.
He found himself in a situation, or believed he was in a situation, that required some type of desperate act. What's unusual about Joseph Hall is that his solution to it was to kill. Most children don't think about, what I'll need to do here is kill my father.
Dude, they do when they're raised with Nazi values, man. Why would he fucking say something so stupid? Well, most children aren't. Most children... Yeah, man. Look at the father, bro. How dare you blame this child for any of his actions at 10 years old, man? It's just... Man, I would expect a 19-year-old child to do the exact same thing. You know? And this shit is obviously documentable abuse. It's fucking psychotic.
As the police began to dig, they discovered that little Joseph was a volatile and violent child.
You know, of course he was. That's how it happens. Don't you watch movies? You fucking idiots. Don't you watch movies where a child is abused at home and then they go beat people up at school? And the bully always has to go home and get beat up by their parents? God, man, what the fuck?
Who had been kicked out of several schools for attacking students and staff, once nearly choking a teacher with a phone cord.
My grandson was who he was from the time he was born. What do you mean? He has absolutely no understanding of cause and effect.
It is so rare that a 10-year-old would kill a father.
Well, but you know, I wasn't surprised by it. I just somehow felt it could always happen, but I thought it would be when he was older.
Would this have happened if Jeff had not become a Nazi?
I think so. Probably later. Joe was still Joe, and they weren't having a lot of luck figuring out exactly what his problems were or how to deal successfully with them.
Little Joseph also...
Bullshit.
Would kill a father.
Well, But, you know, I wasn't surprised by it. I just somehow felt it could always happen, but I thought it would be when he was older.
Would this have happened if Jeff had not become a Nazi?
I think so. Probably later.
I mean, if this guy was just abusive, yeah, maybe he was just an abusive prick all the time. But bringing the Nazism didn't fucking help. That's for goddamn sure. Oh yeah, maybe she's got a valid point there. I'll give her that.
Joe was still Joe, and they weren't having a lot of luck figuring out exactly what his problems were or how to.
But it's like she's blaming the kid, you know, for what he was trained to do by his father. And by groups of people that were singing happy birthday and then saluting Hitler at the end of singing happy birthday. Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
Deal successfully with them.
Little Joseph also had a history of starting fires.
Does he raise the question of whether a killer...
Yeah, I lit fires too when I was a kid. I like fires. Fire, fire, fire. What's up with that?
Can be pre-programmed?
Can't do it now. Can't be lighting fires in today's world, man. But man, back when I was a little kid, yeah, it wasn't so bad. They called the fire department, whatever.
I think he had everything physically in place that it didn't take.
Man, you realize, we're just one pyromaniac kid away from the whole United States burning down. He's going to get in a car, or she is going to get in a car, and all they're going to need is a Bic lighter. They're going to take one of these with them. They're going to get in a car. Mark my words, this is going to happen. And they're going to start a fire and keep driving. Start a fire, keep driving. Start a fire, keep driving. Start a fire, keep driving. And you're going to be able to see this map of fires, and it's going down this highway. Obviously. You know, and that this person, all they would have needed to do was just go up to the side of the road with a lighter and just start one blade of grass on fire and get back in their car and keep driving. And if the wind was blowing in the correct direction, the whole goddamn United States would be on fire. You know? Or say you have some kind of a cult group that wants to do that. That's all it takes. That's how far away we are. That's how close we are to losing everything. Because we don't have the resources to combat this. What are you going to do? Ban these? We don't have... They'll just use a match. We don't have the resources.
Take much to bring him right along to thinking that murder is appropriate.
So he was born the match, and that environment in that home lit the match. Is that a...
Oh, it's funny we're talking about matches.
Jeff's mother got custody of his 4 little girls because his wife pled guilty to leaving a loaded gun in the house.
Now, crazy grandma doesn't think Nazism is all that bad. She's got the kids now. Great.
And every week, Joanne visits her son's young killer in juvenile hall.
It's a struggle every minute of my life because my son was murdered and I want justice for him. But that only happens at the expense of my grandson.
What about politics with these children? I mean, do you feel any obligation to teach them about Nazis?
They're being raised conservative, Republican. We need more of those in California.
But what about Nazism?
It's gone for this family.
Joseph awaits trial, incarcerated at the county's juvenile hall, where he celebrated his 11th birthday. Whatever his sentence, he will likely be released by the age of 25.
Lose the clock. Oh, man. That's an old one. That's from 2011. 2011. That's some crazy shit, huh? I bring you the crazy shit. From years and years and years ago. The crazy shit. I bring it to you. This is great. So right now, this time of year, because I got the garden going, I can take it easy. And I have something to do now for 2 hours. I go down in the garden, water and check the plants and clean up around there and do whatever. And before I have the chance to eat, which is at 10 o'clock, doing this fasting thing. And for those of you who want to try what I am doing, I'll gladly tell you exactly exactly what it is that I'm doing. Okay. It's fasting. 8 hours of eating and 16 hours of fasting every day. So I'm shifting my time. I was doing from noon until 8 p.m. I realized I don't want to be eating at 8 p.m. I want to stop eating at 6 p.m. and be awake and have more time to digest food and whatnot before I go to sleep, and I want to be able to eat earlier in the morning, not at noon. So I shifted it. So I'm going to do from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. now. So I last night I went ahead and at 6 p.m. I stopped eating. And then I'm waiting now, and I'll be able to eat here in an hour and a half at 10 o'clock. And have like a normal breakfast and whatever, and just eat for 8 hours until 6 p.m. I could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just normal eating, But if I exercise and I limit my sugar intake and I do all that stuff and I drink lots of water, I'll really drop weight faster. Right now I'm kind of hit a spot where I'm not losing any weight today, but when I start losing weight again, I'll let you guys know. And once again, I can leave that on while I go down there and water. I can leave the video up so you guys will see me down there working. Do I like grapefruits? Do I like grapefruits? Do I like grapefruits? No, I don't like grapefruits at all. But you're right. Yes, grapefruits. My uncle used to eat those. They're very healthy in the morning. Absolutely. That is Riff Spid. That is so true. It's just I don't really like grapefruit. I like to find a nice non-bitter version, if you know what I mean, pal. I might do a grow update while I'm down there. I don't know. We'll go check it out. Hey, Callie. Do you guys see me down there working? Did you see me down there working or no? Oh, you didn't see me down there working? Well, now you can see everything that I did. It was stuck the whole time. That's fucking funny. God damn it, man. You didn't see me gardening naked. So, well, I watered each pot. I set up the cages. I set up watering tubes. I cleaned it out and gave it feng shui. I set the wall up straight because it was crooked. You could see the bracing in there holding it up. I aligned the little blockades down there to keep Rogie out from where the foxtails are. I did a bunch of stuff. It's just like peaceful flow, feng shui. Everything is in such a way that it's calming. It has a calming, pleasing effect. Feng shui. A room should have like feng shui when you walk into it. Should be set up so that it's Wait. Oh, you guys did see me in the grow? Gardening and shit? You saw me in there? I can't get a fucking straight answer out of you people, man. Jesus Christ, really? Alright, well. Did any of you see me in there working or no? Alright. May have been a little dusty in there from all the work I was doing. Alright, you guys. Well, I went in there and I inspected all the plants. I watered. At 8:44, I'm 3 hours into the video, bro. What do you mean 8:44? Oh, 8:44 in 8. I got you, 8:44. So everything before 8:44 y'all saw. Oh, that's good. That's good. Because for the last half hour I've been outside the tent anyway. Oh, yeah. Cool. So you guys saw it. You saw the first 5 minutes of me going in there? Really? That's it? The first 5 minutes of it? Well, you see I lifted the back up. Let some air through there. And I adjusted the cages. I put the watering tubes in. I gave it the feng shui. There were items and things around. I put everything in one corner and made it nice and orderly. So when you're in there, you're able to work and move around and stuff unobstructed, which makes it easy to water. Seeing some tomatoes popping out. The potatoes haven't broken the top of the soil yet. But I put the potatoes in there nice and deep. It'll be a little while. And then we'll have potato flowers. Little white potato flowers everywhere. Oh, I'm sorry that it froze up, man. I've got a router I need to move out here onto the deck that'll really improve my reception. I should probably hang it up on the wall. That'd be a cool place for it. Mark's plants are just, wow. They're exploding, man. His plants are doing so well. I also mixed a little fish fertilizer into my compost tea. I also put some mycorrhizae in the compost tea. The air was stopped up, so I fixed the air hose going into there so it would bubble again. The fresh water was still bubbling, but I adjusted that hose so it won't have a problem anymore. I got that green container, 2.5 gallons of water, and I put in 3 tablespoons of fish fertilizer in the water, and I watered all 6 of the plants, basically right on top of the stem of the plant, on all 6 of them. So they got a good fertilizer today, man. You can see the sun is just now. He's doing a bad job and won't listen. I just thought of a way I could move those pots if I wanted to, full of dirt. Emptying them out would be easy. Empty them out, empty the dirt out of them, you move them wherever you want them, and refill them. If I put a tow strap around one of those, and I tied it to the winch on my Roxer, I bet you I could just slide those across the ground, man, and move them around and stuff. Like that. Because it would strap all the way around. It would just slide the whole frickin' thing. It would just push what's in front of it forward. It'd be kind of fun. They're blocks from a government retaining wall. They're literally growing out of the retaining wall on an interstate. Wow. Doesn't he think someone's going to walk by and see him? He's gorilla growing on federal land. I wouldn't mind lifting up all those walls, actually. I might look into that. I need posts to do it. Man, Saturday, Pinoy's coming, and I should be getting the electronics for my sawmill, which means it's all together. It just I'll go look at the base of that and see if it's movable. I just never really paid too much attention to the belt before. I guess it was always loose like that, and I just never really noticed it. It's just not, I just think it should be a little tighter, but I bet you the blade will run a lot faster if it was. It's got to be skipping. Got to really get in there and look at it. I could call the guy that sold it to me and ask him if there's a way to tighten that belt. There might be. I'm sure if I look at it, if there's a way, I'll see it. There's, you know, 2 other pulleys. They just don't look like they're adjustable. They look like they're on what you would call hardwired axles, you know, non-adjustable. Yeah, I could start doing all kinds of shit once I'm cutting my own boards, bro. I got the logs, man. I got the logs. I've got the forklift to move the logs. I've got the roxer to drag them. If I want to drag them around, you know, drag them down to the sawmill. I just assume load them up on the, you know, drag them off from where they are onto the forks and then drive them down. Oh, several thousand? Bro, I know. You should see some of these trees. You should see some of these trees, man. I heard Douglas fir is really desirable. People really like the Douglas fir. It's, oh, fur is used for flooring? Oh. I got lots of pine and lots of fir. I don't know if the pine is really good for cutting 2x4s out of, though. I guess maybe if you were doing, if it was good, young, you know, not young, but like year-aged pine that wasn't cracked. Mark, I couldn't think of Mark's name. Mark was telling me to slice the pine into slices for siding, knotty pine. He's like, bro, he's like, that stuff is so gorgeous. I'm like, I know. I'm looking at just what I've already just cut is amazing. Which I believe was some Douglas fir. It takes staying well. That's why it's good for flooring. I wonder if pine's good for anything. I just got so much pine. There's a lot of trees that Mark just cut down a ton of trees that had pine beetle infections. Man, I've been growing his fucking plants for him. I haven't heard from him in freaking 2 weeks. Rogie says it's time to eat. It's funny. It's like you get to eat in 9 minutes. Yeah. My fast is over. Time to drink some water and start getting ready. All right, you guys. I will see you on this afternoon show, maybe around noonish or 1ish or 4:20ish or 7:10ish. I don't know. But I will see you then. So make sure you're following me on all forms and sorts of social media so you get that notification. Thank you, guys. Love y'all. Take care. Oh, and you go check out my Twitters, man. I'm having a lot of fun over there. So go check out my Twitters at Nays Garden, at Ben Shader, at Crypto Cult 420. I am tweeting on all of them. I'm tweeting on all of them. So, hope you enjoyed the 3-hour show. And I will go break my fast here. We'll see if I lost any weight. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Take care. Okay, I'll see you on Twitter, brother.